I'm Assad Ahmed. Welcome to BBC London. This is what's coming up. We speak to a student stuck in Gaza, unable to take up her scholarship at the University of London due to the ongoing conflict.
Education, it's the way to achieve my dream and to become what I want.
MPs are now calling on the Home Office to allow Palestinian students with a place to study here permission to arrive. Also on the programme, calls for more to be done to clean up our air after a rise in children being treated for breathing difficulties in hospital. We've got a significant development to share about a special grapefruit tree that's bloomed in Battersea for 40 years.
Make some noise for the Treehouse Band!
And the stars taking centre stage in London pubs tonight to give grassroots gigs a boost. Good evening. A Palestinian woman has spoken to BBC London from Gaza about being awarded a scholarship to study at the University of London next month, but because there are no facilities for her to obtain biometric tests in Gaza to confirm her identity, her place is at risk. Haya Mohammed says she's been displaced multiple times during the war, and the 22-year-old now only has a backpack to her name. The Home Office insist on biometric tests, although they were lifted for students arriving from Ukraine. MPs from London and across the country are supporting Haya, who spoke to Matt Graveling.
I was writing before the war about the sea, the sky, the life, my friends. But when the war is coming, I have to write about my people, tragedy, and this is not something easy. This is what you have to do in a war. We don't have the luxury of giving up.
The cost of war in Gaza continues to rise. Lives, buildings, dreams, all destroyed. With her phone signal just hanging on, Haya told me about her life as a student.
I was studying in the school, like everyone, and I graduated from the school with 95%. And then I joined to the university as a programmer. Then there was a start. They destroyed the university, the school.
The bombings also took Haya's chance to finish her computer programming degree. With her laptop lost, she focused on writing, penning poems from Gaza, which she got published.
I'm Gaza, I'm Haya, daughter of a land that cannot be defeated, a voice of sky that never tries. I'm the blood that flows through its streets, the pulse beneath the rubble that never ceases. Every day my eyes witness death, but my heart knows only life.
Haya's writing earned her a scholarship at Goldsmith University. However, to travel, she needs a visa, and this can only be obtained by leaving Gaza.
One of the things that is asked is for a description of the route that they will take. Obviously, this is also tricky because Gaza is under blockade and you need permission from the Israeli military to enter or exit. And so this requires diplomatic coordination. And so the students are asking the British government if they can coordinate on their behalf.
On Thursday, the government said all visas need biometric checks, which are an essential part of security, and students could use facilities in Israel. Since 2023, there has been no centre for biometrics in Gaza. Barry Gardiner is one of a number of MPs who have written to the government asking for these checks to be deferred to allow more than 80 students from Gaza to travel to England.
What we're asking the Home Office, asking the government to do, is to set up a safe route where they can come out, defer the biometric data until they've reached that safe third country in Egypt or Jordan perhaps, and then come on to the UK in the normal way.
Why is education so important to you personally, Haya?
It's how to tell our stories to others, how connected with the world, how poetry can be a tool to survive.
What would it mean to you, Haya, to come to London and study here?
To achieve one of the dream that I always dream, and to becoming a poet and to write about my people and turn pain into poetry and poetry to survival.
Matt Graveling, BBC London.
Well, Goldsmiths College has told BBC London that they remain ready to support Palestinian students and they continue to monitor the situation closely. Meanwhile, you can hear more of the interview with Haya speaking about her experience in Gaza on BBC Sounds. It was recorded this afternoon. Just get your phone, scan the QR code that's on your screen. It'll take you to BBC Sounds where you can listen to the longer report. Now, if you need more time to get your phone, then you can watch this bit of the programme back on the iPlayer. Moving on now, as there's lots more to come on the programme, including this.
I'm at a pub on Bankside where, as well as a drink and amazing views of the river, tonight there'll also be a special performance on offer. All will be revealed later in the programme.
A pub in South London, which is also a place for people in the community to meet, faces closure after the pub chain which owns the freehold told the landlord he could buy it or he faces the risk of losing it. Well, Clement Ogbonaya wants to stay and he's trying to do just that. Thomas McGill has the story.
From serving food
it's a good shot
to creating a vibrant and welcoming community, the boss at the Queen of the South is proud of what the venue represents and how it's now a much-loved part of the neighbourhood.
We like to say we represent the other. Women are probably like the forgotten piece of the community. They're the most important piece of this community, in my opinion. So that's why it's called Queen of the South, in homage to my mum, my wife, my two daughters, etc., etc. I think as a communal space, as a hub, as a meeting place, as a place to celebrate, as a place to mourn, as a place to share ideas, Queen of the South needs to exist.
And the locals feel the same.
It's nice to have a pub in Tulse Hill that represents everybody in Tulse Hill.
We just live around the corner, and so this is definitely our local pub. We have had pub quizzes here, we have had birthday parties here, we have had pre-birthday parties here. We've had a lot of fun, we've done some dancing. It's literally, there's something all the time for everyone.
But all that could be under threat. Part of the long lease Clement signed and the entire freehold of the building have been bought by the same company in the last 18 months, and he says it wants him out.
Let's move together. This is an opportunity in our community, and we can own our own boozer. We can own bricks and mortar. And I'm asking you guys, help save Queen of the South.
He's now hoping to raise enough money to purchase the freehold and secure the pub's future. And his online campaign has been attracting supporters from all over London to the pub.
He touched me, and I immediately, the missus was, getting herself ready in the morning. I said, babes, you've got to look at this. And I said to her, look, my queen, it's called Queen of the South, and you're my queen, so what do you think of this, babe? And together we just felt, it's a cause we want to get behind.
I feel that, as a community, we actually need to support each other and support new and upcoming businesses.
Youngs who own the building and part of the lease say, we remain in exclusive negotiations with Clement regarding the freehold of the pub, and we recognise the significance of the pub as part of the local community. Well, bosses here say the pub has now found its feet and importance within the community at a time when other venues are struggling to thrive and survive. Whatever happens here, Clement is determined to keep the community he's helped to create together, wherever that may end up being. Thomas McGill, BBC London.
A group of parents campaigning to improve London's air quality say toxic air is causing more children to be admitted to hospitals. Mums for Lungs say more than 100,000 children were treated with serious breathing problems last year, and they want the government, councils and the Mayor of London to do something about it. Our environment correspondent is Tom Edwards. To tell us more.
Yeah, this was a Freedom of Information request, as you say there, by the campaign group Mums for Lungs, and they requested all the NHS trusts across London about admissions, and this is what the figures show. It found nearly 114,000 children were treated in hospital last year for serious breathing problems. If we break that down, that's 88,000 A&E, accident emergency admissions, and 26,000 admissions to hospital wards for things like severe asthma. Now, the group Mums for Lungs, what they want is that they want a ban on all diesel vehicles, and they also want a ban on wood burners. And this is what they had to say a little bit earlier about the figures.
My main concern for my children is that their asthma would continue to get worse, and they would be, you know, at the same kind of level that I am, which is really awful, you know, taking steroids, going to the hospital all the time, injections, restricting what you can do. I just wouldn't want them to end up that way.
We are noticing more hospital admissions in relation to the effects of air pollution. And it's not just in respiratory diseases, and it's not just in children in terms of the data that's come out today. The rates of heart disease, heart attacks, strokes, and other events, pneumonias, for example, are definitely associated with air pollution.
As you heard there, some very serious health implications of toxic air. Now, City Hall said millions of Londoners are now breathing cleaner air thanks to the Mayor's bold air quality policies, in their words, such as the ultra-low emission zone, which we've covered many times, which has, in their words, proven even more effective than expected. And the Mayor is determined to keep air quality across the capital improving. Campaigners want him to go much, much further, quicker, especially with this diesel ban, but I think that's unlikely to happen through the Mayor's policies.
Now, Tom, I know you're not here to do the weather forecast. We've got Helen Willits coming in later to do that. But next week, we're expecting a yellow health alert, which has been issued. And I'm wondering what impact that could have on air quality.
Well, it can sometimes have a very serious impact, and we are expecting temperatures to rise from Sunday, and a yellow health heat alert has been issued. That's a kind of early warning system for health professionals who are looking after vulnerable people. Could get up to 30 or 31 degrees, peaking on Wednesday next week, so it could be the fourth heat wave of the summer. Some people are calling it the new normal.
OK, Tom Edwards, thanks very much for that. OK, now look at some other stories making the headlines today. The MP for Bethnal Green and Stepney has resigned as Minister for Homelessness after criticism about renting out her own property. Rushanara Ali relisted a house she owns in East London at a higher rent after ending her tenant's lease in order to sell. Well, the property was re-advertised within 6 months, which is a practice the government intends to ban. Transport for London has begun testing their new Piccadilly line trains. Test runs have taken place between Northfields and Hyde Park Corner. Their full launch was postponed after issues were rediscovered that could damage the trains if they'd gone into service. Well, the relaunch is now expected next year. Now, with ticket prices to concerts and gigs pricing many people out of going, there's a push to support rising talent while making it more affordable to enjoy live music. It's being led by spaceman Sam Ryder, who's turned up for a secret surprise gig tonight in London. Alison Earle wouldn't tell us where she was going this evening, but I know she's there. I can see you there, Alison.
That's right, Assad. It's all been a bit hush-hush until now, but I can reveal the location that's been under wraps. This is the Anchor Bankside, a pub that sits right on the River Thames. And it looks at the turnout. It's definitely got a little bit busier in the last few minutes. Well, it's all down to this man on the balcony, the amazing Sam Ryder, and his secret performance, which is all about boosting grassroots music. Well, let's have a little chat to some of those who are here. Can I have a quick word with you? What do you make of all this tonight? The atmosphere?
It's amazing. The atmosphere is brilliant. The sun's out and Sam Ryder's here. What more could you want?
Amazing voice. And what do you think about the push for live music?
Do you know, I think Green King are fabulous to get live music for free, because getting tickets nowadays is so expensive. The fact you can come to a pub, have a drink, and it's complimentary. It's wonderful. I love it.
Thank you so much. Well, this is one of several pubs across London that are hosting surprise gigs. And my colleague, Gemma Riley, a little bit earlier, caught up with Sam Ryder to find out more.
He put the UK back on the map for Eurovision, but now he's been named the King of Gigs for an initiative to support grassroots music, and it's all starting at a pub in London.
Make some noise for the Treehouse Band.
I wanted to be part of this initiative because it's where I started. So I look at the opportunities that are in front of, 800 different artists starting from tonight. It's a lot of hope, and that is something that's so important for people like young artists emerging in this industry, because without that hope and faith and belief in yourself, like, you really are nowhere. So what we're talking about here really is like not just grassroots venues and pubs and the importance of those, but about encouragement of people that, rely on these spaces.
Gig prices now becoming less accessible for people because, the average artist costing £100. Any thoughts on that?
I didn't realise until I got to a certain point in my career, because I remember going to places like, even my first gig was at Wembley Arena, right? I went to see Sum 41, and even at that age, I remember looking around and thinking like, wow, all these people have paid the same amount for a ticket I have. The band must be getting so much money. And of course, it's rarely as simple as that. Those shows cost a lot of money to put on. But at the same time, it's what I mean about it being a nuanced conversation. We've got to make sure that live music and just culture is accessible to everyone. That's why all these events are free.
Jem O'Reilly, BBC London.
Well, this is BBC London on a Friday evening. Still to come before 7.
It's great news for this grapefruit tree in South London, which now has a tree preservation order on it, meaning it's here to stay.
OK, it's been a great summer for women's sport in football, but also in netball. London Pulse were crowned Super League champions last month for the very first time at the O2 Arena. It gave them the treble, and today their trophies were shown off. Chris Legg went to meet the players who won them.
March the 8th, we were crowned inaugural Super Cup champions.
14th of June, we finished top of the league.
And on the 6th of July, Super League champions and treble winners.
Yes, the treble for London Pulse, and a first ever Super League title was the big one, achieved in front of a record crowd of more than 10,000 at the O2 Arena, with victory over defending champions Loughborough Lightning. Today, the trophies were brought back to the Copper Box, the home of London Pulse, for the first time.
It was a month yesterday, wasn't it? And it just still feels unreal. I'm not gonna lie, I did watch the match again last night because I was seeing all the posts about our new squad and stuff, so I was like, might as well watch it again.
Still kind of brag about it, I won't lie. Still get people like, you know what, we did win, guys. Oh yeah, you didn't know, we're NSL champions.
Throughout the season, how much did the crowd here at the Copper Box play a part, particularly in that semi-final?
Honestly, to all the fans that came out, meant so much to us. We were really scared. We thought we were going to have like 5 people, like all of our family was just going to be here, but they honestly helped us so much.
In the grand final, you were player of the match.
Yes, I was.
Must take a lot of pride in that.
I feel like it's been a hard season, but to finally go out on the last match and also like get player of the match, it's kind of like a circle of life moment. I'm just like, thank you guys.
Last night, London Pulse confirmed their squad for next season. There's only one change, with South African goal shooter and wing attack Kamagelo Maseko coming in. So can a settled side do the treble again?
Now that we've had a taste of it, I think now it's time to show that we want more. And I don't see why not. I'm happy that, we are able to be in a position where we can say like we can go and defend the title. I think we've never really done that, so yeah, I'm really excited. I think we can do it.
And I know we have a standard to uphold in our team, but I think just doing what we did last year but 10 times better, and because we are still quite a young team, we don't want to put pressure on each other, but I know that all of us have our standards and we're ready to go again next year.
If London Pulse carry on at this rate at the Copper Box, they'll need a bigger trophy cabinet. Chris Legg, BBC London.
Now, a few days ago, we brought you the story of a grapefruit tree in Battersea. Decades ago, it came from the Caribbean. And now neighbours want to make sure, well, it's forever protected. With a significant update on the popular tree, here's Anna O'Neill.
Earlier this week, this grapefruit tree on Queenstown Road in Battersea's future was uncertain, but we're ending the week with it having a tree preservation order on it from Wandsworth Council, meaning it will not be cut down. It used to belong to a lady called Marlene Anderson, and Marlene sadly passed away recently, and her last wish was that this tree would be saved. And I spoke to her neighbour Vaz about the fact that now it will be.
I was in my kitchen doing what I was doing with the grapefruits, and I just heard a big commotion outside, but I'm kind of used to it this week. Everyone's been here, but I looked outside and there was a lady with a big Grenadian flag on her t-shirt, and I went downstairs and it turns out it was people from the council, so the preservation order has been granted. So this tree is never getting cut down.
How amazing, and how do you feel about that?
Ecstatic, happy that Marlene really got what she wanted, because that was her main concern, is that when she passes over, whoever gets the flat after might want to cut down the tree, or the neighbours, you know, so.
Well, she's got that wish.
Happy news, yeah.
Happy news indeed. And there are plans afoot for even more celebration of Marlene and her life, with a potential mural going on the wall next to the flat.
Yes, so I've been talking to a couple of the artists who have been doing the murals for the Windrush generation and Brixton and all over London. So yeah, we're in talks. We don't know what's happening yet, but it's happening.
Goodness me, what would Marlene have made of all this?
She would be ecstatic. She would probably be running around with her walking stick and saying really inappropriate things.
Wandsworth Council told us, "We were very pleased to grant the tree preservation order and ensure that this beloved local landmark stands for generations to come. Marlene was much loved by her neighbours, and we're proud to have listened to the wishes of the community." Now, as a result of this story, we've found out that this isn't the only grapefruit tree growing in London. People have been emailing into us at hello.bbclondon@bbc.co.uk this week, telling us about other grapefruit trees in London. Deborah got in touch from Bethnal Green to say there's a grapefruit tree where she lives. Janet lived in a flat in Stepney where she used to grow pips from her own tropical fruits, and one of them turned into a rather large grapefruit tree there. And then in terms of other trees, Kim in Islington has managed to grow a peach tree that's given her over 100 peaches in the last 2 years. And finally, there's a pomegranate tree in Richmond where Caroline has been trying to get a tree preservation order on it. So who knew that London had such a tropical climate?
Anna O'Neill there. Now, if you stand on a street and wait, there's a good chance you won't have to wait long before you see a Ford Transit van drive past. 60 years after they were launched, they remain the world's best-selling van. They were designed and developed in Basildon in Essex, and they're still going strong. Theo Leggett's report starts with this great advert.
Transit, the super van. Big, fast, efficient.
The Ford Transit first went on sale in 1965 and it made an immediate impact. It was designed to be a van for everyone, from your local builder, electrician or delivery man to wannabe rock stars touring the country in search of gigs.
Fitted with a 7-litre Ford V8 engine.
And it had the reputation for being so robust you could even use it for rallying.
King of the road.
Over the next 6 decades, more than 30 million Transits were sold, and it remains the world's best-selling van. There was a downside though. Criminals loved the Transit too. In 1975, London's Metropolitan Police apparently claimed it was used in 95% of bank robberies, making it Britain's most wanted van. Today, a new generation of Transit vans is being developed at Ford's UK headquarters near Basildon. Will there ever be another mould breaker like the original Transit?
We're working on it. We see the revolution mainly is around propulsion and software, and that's really where we think the next step change will come.
A Transit that's even more rugged.
Ford likes to dwell on the Transit's British heritage, but while engines and electric motors are still built in this country, the vans themselves are not. Something I asked their UK boss about.
We manufacture our diesel engines in Dagenham, which is just down the road, and we make power packs for our electric vehicles in Hillwood, just outside Liverpool.
But you make the Transits themselves in Turkey?
That's right, yes we do, and that's around efficiency and just centering engineering and manufacturing into one place rather than multiple sites across Europe.
60 years on, the Transit is still a major brand, but in a fast-changing world with more competition than ever before, is it now just another van? I asked someone who's been watching the industry for decades the president of the AA.
In the 60s, 70s, 80s, if someone's father had a transit, they would get a transit. If their building yard had a transit, they'd get a transit. I think that's changing now. There's more competition across the van segment, and therefore brand loyalty is certainly not as strong as it used to be.
OK, now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And Helen, yesterday Stav said it would be getting warmer, and he certainly wasn't wrong.
No, and it's going to get warmer still, Assad, and quite humid as well into next week. And so that means there'll be some rather uncomfortable nights as well for sleeping. But for the weekend, still relatively comfortable, dry for most and getting warmer. I say for most because as we go through this evening and overnight, we might just pull in a little bit of cloud from the west, thickening up, and potentially into tomorrow morning could just give the odd shower, perhaps later tonight. But temperatures overnight 11 to 12. So as I say, that's fairly comfortable. Through the day tomorrow, the big change is that the winds will freshen up close to this area of low pressure here. So the windiest weather's in the north, but we'll see more breeze or feel more breeze in southern areas for this time of year, particularly down through the Thames Valley. It'll be quite blustery at times, and there's that odd shower. Not for all. Bit more cloud, but sunny spells as well, and warm. Temperatures, I think, probably very similar to those that we've had today. So 25, possibly 26 degrees Celsius. Then during tomorrow evening and overnight, the winds will tend to ease down quite significantly as high pressure starts to encroach. So as that happens, we get clearer spells, lighter winds, and we could have a bit of mist and fog by the time we get to Sunday morning. At this time of year, into August, it can linger to 7 or 8 o'clock. But again, a fairly comfortable night, even down to 10 or 11 in a few spots. But then after that mistiness clears first thing Sunday, it looks like we'll see more sunshine, lighter winds, and so temperatures will start to climb further. Perhaps a degree or two more, 26, 27, Sunday locally 28, and then hotter still as we get into early next week. The heat's already further south. Watch the colours deepen across the UK, particularly Monday, Tuesday, when it looks like we'll have the peak Tuesday, perhaps 31 or 32. But by that stage as well, we might just start to see the odd thunderstorm cropping up, mostly to the west of us, but it's a long way off at this stage, Assad. So it's one of those to keep your eye on.
Yeah, absolutely. 31 or 32, that's incredible. Helen, thanks very much. You never know. We'll keep our eye there. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Well, that's it. Alison Earle will be here with our late news at 10:30 on BBC One and the iPlayer. I'll be back with our weekend news tomorrow at 5:30. For now, from the BBC London team, have a good evening.